Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Build-A-Figure SP//DR. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. I don't have any idea what this thing is, and frankly, I don't care because I don't like the design at all. It's a cool idea for a Build-A-Figure. Unfortunately, it was executed very poorly, and so it's easily, by far, not counting the tiny ones like Rocket or something like that, my least favorite Build-A-Figure, maybe of all time. But it does do some things. Some things are pretty well done, so we'll talk about that. But I don't get it. I'm wondering, did anybody want this? Does anybody want it now that it exists? It's just a weird thing to me. It seems like a very poor choice for a Build-A-Figure when there are so many things out there that would have been a better Build-A-Figure that could have reused parts. This doesn't. I can't imagine what figures are going to reuse any of these parts. So it seems like a very poor choice. But I'm curious. Let me know if a lot of people like this. Then I'm just wrong. I don't know about that, but. Let me know if you're into this sort of thing. All right, let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. So the height's going to vary a little bit on this guy depending on how you have him posed, but this is the best way I could find to balance him with that amount of bend in the knee and in the ankles and stuff. So he stands just about, let's say 19.5 centimeters, which makes him just about 7.75 inches, right around there. And the paintwork on this guy is pretty clean. We do see a little bit of bleeding here and there, but for the most part, it's good. The yellow and black spots stand out particularly well. The yellow is done very, very nicely, except for right here, I guess. So it's not done very nicely. Oh, and over here it's done poorly. What the heck? This side looks good. This side doesn't look good at all. It's not even yellow on this side. The yellow paint needed 2 more coats, it looks like. So that's a bummer. The face looks good though. I'll give you that. The face is nice and clean line work for the black and the yellow. We have the silver back here, so that's pretty cool. A little bit of silver in there. Overall, it's aesthetically pleasing in terms of the coloring and painting and whatnot. Now, the figure really just falls apart when it comes to the articulation, and I mean that almost literally. We'll get to that in a second, though. So for the head, we have a ball peg and a hinge, which is fine. You can make the head move around just fine, no problem. You can pretty much achieve most posing with just the ball peg, but if you want to use that hinge, you can do that too. So that's pretty cool. I like the head. Now for the shoulders, they just peg in with a straight peg with almost no pressure fit. So that's fine. You put it in, then you get your rotation there. Then you have this ball peg for the shoulder, which affords almost no range. And as you're messing with the shoulder, it's coming off. It comes out as you're posing it. So you're going to have to continually be pushing it back in. So like I said, it just falls apart. It's not a great design. You get almost no range. As you try to get the range out of it, it's just pulling the arm out of the socket. So you're basically just going to have your rotation and a little bit of a ball peg in there. You do get a bicep swivel, which is okay. You get a single jointed elbow, which you would think for a big lanky figure like this, you'd be able to get double, or at least better range, but we get neither of those. So that's a bummer. For the wrists, you have a swivel and a hinge, which is just kind of an awkward angle. The hands always look kind of like he's doing that I'm sneaking in a 1980s cartoon. Well, you'll see at the end, I'll pose it. But it's just weird articulation. The diaphragm joint works well. I'll give them that. It works really, really well. That's awesome. I like that. The hips, not so good. We have a ball hinge, which is in at an angle, so that's not particularly practical. And it pegs in at an angle for the legs, too. So moving the legs is kind of awkward, and they're very floppy. Everything on this thing is floppy because most of the plastic is very rubbery. It's very flexible plastic. So even though you get decent range out of the hips, most of the time he's going to want to fall over. There's no thigh swivel because the way the pegs peg in, your thigh swivel is this, which is like 1990s level of articulation. That's not good. For the knees, you have a double jointed knee, which cannot straighten out all the way, which is okay. And then it goes all the way back, but they're particularly easy to bend. I mean, they're relatively floppy. They won't flop on their own, but under its weight, they might. They definitely might. And then for the ankle, you have a little tiny hinge, which only goes forward and back, and of course you can rotate it, but you can't lean it at all. So with these little ballerina feet, it's almost impossible to have them flat on the table with each other. They're going to be up off the table kind of like this. So it's just overall not very well executed. He's just so squishy. He's gummy. The whole thing is just gummy. I don't get it. For something like this, you need it to be relatively rigid so that you can try to balance it, but everything just wants to flex on it. So I mean, you might be able to get it in a pose, and it'll stay there maybe for a couple of days. But I would bet money, no matter how good your balancing is, something's going to give. Either the knee joint or one of the plastics is just going to kind of flex a little bit too much, and it's going to end up falling over. So it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's okay. Objectively, it's okay. Subjectively, I absolutely hate it. There you go. It's just, I don't get it. Objectively, it's okay at best. Subjectively, I hate it completely. Other than the eyes. The eyes are painted nicely. And the silver. Okay, so yeah, let me know, guys. I'm very curious if you guys like this. Yeah. That's, I don't. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos. Also, it's just a bad design. It's not a good design overall. Like, the character design, not the figure. It's just not good. Ugh. Alright. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. I have new videos up almost every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.